Hi class. So I wanted to let you know that I have graded all your persuasive speeches. I have, I didn't get a chance to give you a video feedback. I will be on it. I'll be giving you a video feedback on your persuasive speeches. So you should be able to go back to Go React, and it is now going to be private. So you should only be able to see my video comments, and nobody else will be seeing my video comments to your persuasive speech. So the next part, I did see that all of you submitted your argumentative speech, part 1. I saw that, there were, you basically went to Go React, followed the instruction, and you submitted it by this Sunday. So now I'm going to tell you what needs to be done next. And I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to discuss with you, and then I'm going to kind of give you an example so that you know exactly what you need to do. So now you need to work on 2 things. One is counter argumentation, and the second thing is you need to work on your refutation. Okay, so one of the things is, this is how I will be looking at it. So here we go. Let me show you. Yeah, so let me show you Go React. Let me do a screen share and show Go React to you. I'm trying to pull it up. Here we go. Actually, I'll show you one of my class today. Okay, so here we go. I'm showing you a class right now. And as you can see, this is just a prototype of what needs to be done. So just like you guys, they are my hybrid students, which that means that I meet them once a week, and then the rest of it is online. So I also gave them the similar exercise where they went ahead and did their first argumentative speech here today in class, which you guys have already done. So that the first step is done. Now what I need you to do is I will assign you with a partner. Okay, and I'm going to ask, let me see. This is how I'm going to do this. Let's see. Actually, I have to go to your attendance sheet and see. And I will assign all of you a partner. And let's say, here we go. Actually, I'll show you your class here. That'll be a good example. Here we go. This is your class, and here we have Toulmin's model of argumentation. And here we go. This is what it is going to be. As you can see, this is all your argumentative speeches have been loaded here, right? So as of now, let's say that I have, how many submissions do I have? I have 7 submissions, right? Yes, I have 7 submissions, actually 6 submissions, because I can't count myself. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So let's say I assign Ibrahim. I assign Ibrahim with, I'm going to type it here. And while I'm doing this, I will go here and I will assign counter argument. I will assign. So after hearing Ibrahim's argument, I want Tyler to come up with an argument for him. Okay, so I've assigned Tyler there. So 1 second here, I'm just going to, all right, there you go. So counter argument Tyler, and then we'll go back, and in Tyler's spot, I will assign Ibrahim. So I will say that counter argument Ibrahim. Okay, so once Ibrahim here's Tyler's argument. He needs to provide his counter argument. All right. So that's so similarly, I'm just going to go through all of this so that you guys see this. Then I have it'll be very quick. With Ursula, I will say counter argument. After hearing Ursula's argument, Livia has to provide a counter argument for Ursula. And here we go. And it's taking a bit of time. And hello. And here we go. And after hearing Livia's argument, Ursula has to provide a counter argument for her. Okay. So I'm just going to assign all of you this way. Okay. Okay, so then we have the last pair here, Grace. Joey has to hear Grace's argument and provide a counter argument for Grace. And Grace hears Joey's argument and provides a counter argument for Joey. So as you see, I have provided each of you a partner. Okay. So here we go again, just to make sure you, and this is, I'm going to now, I hope this was already open, but let me just see. Edit assignment. Let's see here. Continue. This is, oh yeah, it is open. So that's the thing. Okay, cancel. So this is all open. You guys can see all each other's posts. Okay. So as you can see that everybody has assigned, Ibrahim has been assigned Tyler to do a counter argument from him. And Tyler has been assigned Ibrahim. Ursula has been assigned Livia to do her counter argument for her. Livia has been assigned Ursula. So everybody has been assigned partners. I just did it in front of you. So that's all done. Now the question, this is a technical thing that I just did because, you know, for the purpose of the assignment. Now what can come to your mind is what is a counter argument, right? So I'm going to just talk about it right now here. I'm going to keep it very short and sweet. And this is what you need to do. I'll just pull it up. I had already queued it for you and I'm going to pull it up. So let me just see whether I'm sharing it with you. 1 second here. Share screen. Yes, I am sharing it with you. So here we go. This is what I need you to do because right now you finished what we called as argumentation and debate. And what you guys did is you've already finished that first part. When you posted your argument, the 6 of you, you provided your data, claim, warrant, backing, modifier, rebuttal, and you did your argument, right? You didn't tell me that this is what the steps are, but that was not required. You had to have an argument and you would know internally in your mind that you've provided all the 6 steps. All right, so which you have already done. So this is done. So now what you need to do, this is the segment that we are going to focus on. This is counter argument and refutation. All right, so what you need to do here is I am going to now talk about this. So here we go. All right. So what you need to do is you need to provide a counter argument. So you already know who has been assigned to you. So let's say Ibrahim, once Tyler hears Ibrahim's counter argument, then what Tyler needs to do is to understand what his argument was, or argument is rather. So after understanding what his counter argument is, this should be Tyler's approach when he is creating a counter argument for Ibrahim. First, what he does is he understands his position and he restates in his own words is Ibrahim's claim. I know what his claim is because I've heard his argument. Now Tyler will hear his argument and understand what his claim is, and he restates in his own words. So that's the first thing that he does. And this is a way to understand each other's position. Tyler needs to assume that he is not in his beliefs and values are going to be different, or his position is going to be different than Ibrahim's value. And maybe actually in real life, Tyler maybe wholeheartedly believes in Ibrahim's claim. However, for the purpose of the assignment and for a lot of lot of situations in life, you may have to actually, just to see whether your position is strong, you may have to really be the devil's advocate. That means you have to figure out ways that you are able to really challenge and ask and see and overturn your beliefs and see whether they really are meaningful for you, because sometimes we stick to our beliefs and we don't never change our beliefs. And sometimes that's where the problem starts, because sometimes some of the beliefs that we have need to be revisited. We need to understand the historical moment has changed. Maybe some of the values have changed, and for that, some of the beliefs need to change. So what this exercise will let you do, even let's say Tyler is completely, absolutely in favor of Ibrahim's position. But Tyler, now what any of you have to do is to now see how a different and opposing position could be. So Tyler has to figure out what could be some of the beliefs or values that could be very opposed to what grounds Ibrahim's belief when he talks about his claim. So that's what he has to do. Now, what Tyler will do first is he's going to try to see and make sure that he really understands Ibrahim's claim. So he is going to restate Ibrahim's claim in his own words. And then the first thing is, always, even if you disagree, always try to figure out a place where you agree. Okay, there has to be a place where you will agree with that person. Okay, so now Tyler has to figure out a place where there is a general agreement with Ibrahim in one or two of the beliefs that kind of ground his claim. So Tyler basically starts from there. He tells us that, yes, I understand, and I believe that this and this is also, I also agree with you in your consideration for this, this, and this. And then only after he tells us where he agrees with, then he moves on to tell us where and how he differs with him. So that's when he really has to take a closer look at the beliefs and values that frames Ibrahim's claims. And then how does he do that? There must be a way. So I have just mentioned here, as you can see, how, who, what, where, when. Tyler can say that, though what you're saying is valuable, but this may not be very feasible in terms of money. This is a really expensive budget, so I may not be able to accept your position. Or he may say that, you were saying that such and such causes this disease, but how did you get this data? I think the data that you've got is like 15 years back. Have you really done some research, current research that shows new light or shows new information on this issue? Or he could say that, you're basing your argument on this particular person. You're really heavily used him as a source. I think you need to use this and this person too, because you need to have a well-balanced source. And this person who you've chose seems very biased. That could be his position. So there could be so many ways that Tyler could could find ways to explore. I wouldn't say disagree, but I would say explore Ibrahim's position. So if you have to think about this, that in any argument, when you're having a difference of opinion or any opposing arguments, you have to figure out a common ground, and then have questions which will make you understand the other person's position better, rather than figuring out a weakness or a loophole, or a strategical device to show that his argument is weak. People do that in debates, but I don't think that should be a very reasonable, a very well-grounded approach. I think we should always approach an argument from a point of understanding, rather than a one up and one down approach. Debate is not about who is smarter, as we know, or whose opinion is just stands tall. It is about reaching an understanding. We lose that. We lose that perspective when we get into a debate. So after you have pointed out, your area of disagreement, if you can call it disagreement, you can call it your area of inquiry to know the other person's perspective better. After you've done all of that, then you summarize your counter argument. Provide a summary so that it's easy for the other person, for your opponent to hear you and understand you. All right. So these are the 4 steps that you have to do. First, restate the claim, show where you agree, show where you differ, and then summarize your argument. This should be achieved in 2 to 3 minutes, not more than that. Okay. So that's what you're going to do. And this will be due by, I will say that this will be due by the 16th, which is Thursday, 11:59 p.m. All of you have been assigned one counter argument. It's a 3-minute argument, and this needs to be due by 11:59 on the 16th of December. Okay. So after all of your counter arguments are turned in, every speaker will go and see the counter argument that they have received. The picture will look something like this. I will show you that as well. Okay, now let me just do like a new share. Okay, all right, here we go. I'm doing a new share, and I'll show you this class. As you can see, okay, so here, as you see, all right, and I will show you. All right, here we go. So I'll show you this one. All right, so because this student of mine did not have a partner because we had maybe 13. We had an odd number, so she could not have a partner. So I partnered with her. Otherwise, I will not do a counter argument, but this is an exception because she didn't have a partner. So you can see, this is her speech. I'm not getting into that, but she has a speech where she tells us that her claim is that second language acquisition, that means every elementary student, it should be mandatory for every elementary school student to understand and learn a second language. That was her claim. All right. So I hear her speech and I give her a counter argument, and I want to show this to you an example. And this is what I will be telling you, is that you do talk about the importance of second language acquisition and how it is important for us to encourage this at a very early age, because development, as talked about, a critical period starts at that period, and we really miss the window, miss the bus if we are not really helping students to acquire a second language. And that is, it is not a requirement here. And you talk about the benefits of this. I do agree that to learn something is a unique skill to learn. Especially a new language is a unique skill to have. I agree on the benefits of just knowing something more than your language. I agree on that one, but I do not think that we need to put in resources to make sure that second language is a requirement in elementary schools. The reason is that I do see a lot of people get by with one language. President Obama, he's such a great ambassador, so popular around the world, and he's able to make an impact. The only language that he knows is English. And if he requires some help, he can always get interpreters to help him to use or to understand a different language. Translated in English. So I don't see how this is going to be extremely helpful. I do understand the initial benefits in terms of brain development, but as a requirement, don't you think that we need to, if we need to push something to be a requirement, it needs to kind of really, really affect us in a negative way if we do not adopt it. I don't see the skill that you're talking about, the second language requirement is going to be a wonderful skill, but I don't see it very necessary. People do get by just with one language. All right, thank you. Okay, you just heard my counter argument. Now, the next section is, so all of you are submitting your counter argument. You've been assigned a partner and you have to hear the argument of your partner. I just heard Jackie's argument, as you just saw, and I posted my counter argument. You guys are going to do the same thing, and you're going to post your counter argument. And I kind of discuss the steps that these are the things that you should be doing when you're posing your counter argument. As you saw that I did, I showed, first of all, I restated her claim. That's the first thing I did. The second thing is that I showed her where I agree with her. And the third thing is I showed where I still agreed with her, but I did not see the fact that I didn't see the value in her proposal. I felt that she wanted to make it a requirement, and I felt that though it's a nice skill to have to learn a language, but requirement needs something much more stronger, and I don't see the lack of knowing a second language can really cause a developmental delay or a huge lack of knowledge in a person's life. And I think that to make something a requirement, you really need to it very high up on the ladder, which means that if you don't have it there, if the subject is not there, then you may cause, it may be a huge loss for the student in terms of a developmental delay, in terms of not understanding cognitively, the student is going to be completely delayed. So that's how, if it would be that important, it would be there. And I don't see second language acquisition being that important in a person's development. So that's what I told her, right? So this is what I'm actually looking at with you. She needs to hear my counter argument and provide a refutation for me. So what is a refutation? I'm just going to show this to you, and I actually haven't seen. I just saw that she's posted it, and I'm going to hear with you what she told me in terms of refuting the speech. So let's hear how do you refute? So this is what happens. This is refutation. So what happens is, I just forgot that I did not share the screen with you here. So in the refutation, she actually hears my whole counter argument. I kind of restated to you as well. You guys heard it, and then I again restated it. So what she does is, Jackie hears my counter argument, and she kind of restates my counter argument, and kind of like, just to make sure that she really understood my counter argument. So she restates it, and she provides she provides a counterclaim, or you can say that she explains, provides more evidence, provides more, or justifies what she has said through additional evidence that maybe I do not know, that will help me to understand that no, second language acquisition actually maybe helps with development. And maybe this is a groundbreaking research. We have seen that if you do not know second language acquisition, there are serious developmental delays. I'm just making it up. I haven't seen what she has done right now. I'm going to see it with all of you. And then she explains the importance of her argument, and summarizes it. So basically, again, just to reiterate, she identifies, she understands, she restates my claim in my counter argument. She makes a counter claim, which means that she makes me maybe think about another aspect to this claim, to my thought, or to my view that second language acquisition is not that important for elementary school students. So she makes a counterclaim and says that, that will make me revisit and understand. So she says something that will make me again wake up and say, hey, hi, yeah, I didn't think about this. So she makes a counterclaim, and then she basically targets my claim, my claim in the counter argument, and either provides new evidence, provides justification, provides, through supporting points, and explains her position. And then just summarizes the argument, explains the importance of her argument, and then summarizes it. So here you can see that there is an example right here. So you can also follow that one. Let's see what Jackie has in store for me. So while we are going there, I am going to, sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm just, while we are going there, I will say this, that you once, sorry, here, stop share. Oh, you know what? Yeah. So once you guys are done, with your counter argument on Thursday, which is December 16th, by midnight Thursday, you will, all of you are going to turn it in, and then you have 1 day, about 1 day, 11:59, all the counter arguments are going to come in, and then you have till Friday. Remember, Friday our class gets over, December 17th by 5 p.m. provide your refutation. I just discussed what refutation is. You can see that this is I hope I'm showing it to you. Yeah. This is an argument. As you can see, this is my counter argument to Jackie, and then Jackie has a refutation for me. Let's hear. I do not know. As I mentioned to you, I do not know what she told me. So let's hear it with you.
I actually really like the arguments you brought up, and how like you agreed with me in some parts, but like you also kind of don't see why it would be a requirement. One of the main reasons I saw about learning a second language is actually like having better conflict management skills. And like when you brought in Obama, I would like one of like the problems that like that's kind of like shown in the US when it comes to English speaking is that even in the US, like you want to cater everything around only English. And maybe like it won't be that much of a problem in the US since that is the majority language. But when you're going to other places, even they have to cater to English speakers. When you go to France, like you will still find things in English. When you go to Germany, you can still find things in English. Because a lot of the world caters around English speaking. And I think one of the best things that we can do as Americans is and kind of like try to connect with the world, especially since like we're so involved in foreign politics, is learning how to at least communicate with the people that we're even speaking to. And like I know you brought in like Obama, how he like is a really great ambassador, and he's gone by with only speaking English, and I agree with that. But at the same time, it's not like, I don't know, like, it's not fair to like other countries, especially non-English countries, to cater towards only English speaking residents and politicians when they have so much influence over the government. Especially like consider like Latin America, like in Central America are super influenced by American politics, and they don't even speak the same language. So how are we to go into that country, not understand them, and kind of create their politics for them? And I think that's one of like the problems, especially like foreign policy and like communicating with others, is even here in the US, when there's so many like, well, we pride ourselves on being like an immigrant melting pot nation, yet we don't want to like put any effort in also like we don't want to put any effort into also like kind of trying to communicate with them and have kind of having like a mutual agreement. So I feel like it should be a requirement just because it helps so much with conflict management, especially when it comes to things like foreign policy, which is something that affects us like every day. Maybe it might not affect us like right now, it could affect us in the future. Foreign policy and like having translators isn't always as effective as being able to communicate with someone one-on-one. I don't know if like you like from experience, like if you're surrounded by people who only speak like a foreign language and you're the only person who can speak that language, and you find someone else who can also speak that language, having a communication with them, it's really like game changing, you know. And kind of like the way that you're able to communicate with them is so different than if I was using a translator, or if I was using like just relying on them to understand me and not the other way around, if that makes sense.
All right, guys. So I just heard it for the first time, just like you. So you did hear a refutation. It was a pretty nice, big, long, beautiful refutation that she has. She kind of talked about game-changing. With I agree with her. I do. If somebody knows the language, of course. I mean, I don't know as ambassador how many. If I am an ambassador, I don't know how many languages I have to learn because I'll be going to different countries. But if I at least know a few languages, I definitely have an edge over others, definitely. So it is game changing. I do understand that. So that was, her refutation. I just gave you an example. That was a refutation. So all of you, so remember, you have already posted your argument. So that's done. Tick. All right. Now you have till Thursday. I have assigned you a partner. So all of you, the 6 of you who have posted your argument, you have been assigned a partner. So you don't need to post your counter arguments for everybody. You just need to know your name is there. So click, if it's like Ibrahim's video, you know that Tyler is going to provide him a counter argument, and Ibrahim knows that, and Tyler knows that Ibrahim is going to post a counter argument for him, right? And then once all the counter arguments come in by Thursday, which is December 16th, 11:59 p.m., all of you hear the counter arguments, and you have about less than 24 hours to respond. Remember, it has to be turned in, your refutation. Once you hear the counter arguments, your refutation should be turned in by 5 p.m. on December 17th. Okay, so that's it, class. I hope I will be providing you all video feedback. All the persuasive speeches have been graded. I'm now going to provide you video feedback to all your persuasive speeches. So good luck to you, class. I look forward to seeing your counter arguments and refutation. All right, thank you.